Today's topic is dot plot and column graphs. And you need to have that as your heading. We use dot plots to display data. And just before we begin, I'll show you what a dot plot looks like. A dot plot has an X and Y axes. And you have equal spacing, or it's also called scale. You label the bottom, so you label the axes. So maybe I'm surveying colors, okay? And in a class, favorite colors? Class, students. Okay, dot plots, I would say a class likes pink. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. Okay, black. So dot plots, basically each dot represents one datum. Okay, so back to our notes. I'd like you to write the following. Dot plots can be used to display data where each dot represents one datum. And the key word here is datum. Okay? Datum. Datum is like a unit. Next thing that I would like to show you is called a column graph. A column graph looks something like this. You need to use a ruler and a pencil to do the following. The first thing a column graph should have is a heading. So, like we have represented in the dot plot, we have a heading and it was favorite color. And then you have the x-axis and the y-axis, and you remember that you need to have that, it always starts at 0 where they intersect, at right angles, and even spacing. Okay, try to have even spacing, use a ruler. The second thing after that is that you need to label your axes. So at the bottom we have color, and on the side is number of students. Okay, and you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. At the bottom you have blue, red, yellow, green, black. Okay, it's very important to have the categories.
What's the third one? The O.
That's categories. Categories.
What's the first color?
Categories, and up there and down there is you got to label each axis. From our column graph, our column graph looks something like this. So there's blue, so 10 kids like blue, red 15, yellow 5, green 23, and black 10. Okay, so a column graph looks like that. And the notes for this for the column graph is column graph is an alternative way to show data
Does it matter if the lines?
data in different categories. It is useful when more than a few items of data are present. Okay, it's very important. The key words I hear is more than one category, more than a few categories. Column graph is a keyword. So let's go back to that. Column graph is an alternative way to show data in different categories. It is useful when more than a few items of data are present. So in our graph that is next to it, we've got 5 categories because there's 5 different colors. It's a good way to compare who likes more of one color. Note that you have to add to your column graph is that column graphs can be drawn vertically or horizontally. Okay, so that can be drawn, column graphs can be drawn vertically or horizontally. So right now we have a horizontal graph. You can turn it on its side and it'll be it's vertically right now. You can turn it on its side and it'll be horizontally. Graphs should have the following. Okay, it should have even scale for numerical axes. It should have a heading. Each axis must be labeled. And finally, category label for any non-numerical data. So in our previous slide, we had a non-numerical data, meaning red, green, blue, yellow, white, whatever color it was. Okay. Continuing from our notes, we have 2 more things that I'd like us to look at. Any numerical axes must be drawn to scale, and I've already mentioned that. And finally, a keyword that you need to know is outlier. When I look at that word, I always think it's out and it lies. It's a liar. So it must be totally out there, like it's unbelievable. It's like a reject part of a section. Okay, an outlier is a value that is noticeable noticeably distinct from the main cluster. An example would be if you had a set of data that goes 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 21. The outlier for this set of data is 21.